Oh, we're live. Light in here. What's up? Gotta love it. Gotta love it. There's the there's the notifications. Getting some people in here. We got Big Houston, Daniel Adami, Big Rich. What is up? I haven't seen you in a minute. We got Natas, Gary. Let's see. Ervaquero, Little Viking Coach, Greg Radio Network. Ralph Loto, what's up? GNC, Family Trucking, Salty Pirate, Trucking with Kirsty, good evening. Trucker for Life, Adam Gallagher. Toxic is an understatement, says Adam. Stay away from toxic poison. Hello, Craig. Craighead. Big Rich, I've been hiding out, my man. Nasty Habits. Sue and Sam, what's up? Weekend Live. Yep. Sorry it took a while, guys, but family first, right? We had a dinner, and I'm out here running errands, and I figured I'd do my weekend live from the pickup, right? Brother, Merry Christmas, man. Hope you and your family is a good one. Thank you, BLR. Light Bright, what's up? Southbound J. Fat White Boy, what's cracking all the time? Pale Rider TV, glad to see you in your house. Mailed a Christmas gift today. Thank you, Jeff. Isn't that nice of Jeff? Isn't that nice of the carrier owner to send us a gift? That's even better than Landstar's little toy truck they give you, right? The Trucker Dean Show. I don't think I've seen you before, but welcome. Light Bright, Pale Rider is a trucker, and he likes to do vlogs. Yeah. Spectre, what's up? Hello from the Boot Hill. I love running the Boot Hill. It sucked when it had Sprint, so I can never get a signal, but man, it's nice and flat and straight. You can be 46,000 pounds and be able to run that road and get good fuel mileage, right? Oh, let's see. Daniel Nami, thank you. Merry Christmas to you. If those of you watching the replay like 3 months from now, this is probably it's the last weekend before Christmas. So I'm out here driving, but I'm listening. Merry Christmas and be safe. And that didn't come out right. That's my stupid speech today. Salty Pirate. Thank you, sir. It must be cold in there, brother. You got a blanket around you, or it could be there. I've got a jacket on. It's not. It's about in the 30s. So it got really nice today. Jeff sent us our IFTA stickers, and this will probably be the warmest this week will be for me to put it on. So, Big Houston, Merry Christmas to you, Salty Pirate, Light Bright. All right, well, if you guys pay attention, if you're sub to Lil Dog's Opinion or Hensley, you knew that, my name was being spoken about, right? And if you were sub to Will's channel called Trucking Zello Leaks, my name came up, right? And there's a few smaller YouTube channels that I've discovered that had my name going on in their channel, all kind of coming to my defense. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate the friends that I have that kind of give me a heads up that things weren't looking too good. And and it sucks that we have to come to that, right? Truckers Coach and bigrigceo going in an argument, right? And a lot of people don't know, but one of the main guys at Advanced Trucking, which is the company that Coach is at, Blackbeard, Anthony Blackbeard, subscribe to him. He's at Christian Trucker was at before he got his own authority. CPAP the trucker was there. McGee Films was there. I've done, at the time that Jeff's not hiring people, I always kind of push them towards advanced, and I still think that if you're looking for a lease option and you don't own your plate and trailer, they're a good option. We like trucking, we don't offer a plate. We don't off well, we do offer a trailer, but we don't offer a plate. That can be a challenge for some. Like if you live in Mississippi, you have to have your own numbers to get your own plate. So I think I've done some recruiting for them, right? And I've been friends with Daniel since me being in the spot market. And there were all these channels that were talking about the argument that was talking about the accident that coach had taken down. So I just want to give him a heads up that Advance's name was being thrown around in regards to an accident and on social media. And there was a video put out there. The title implied, or could look like it implied, that I was snitching on Coach, and that was not the case. So we had a phone conversation with Jason, Kevin, Jake L, and some people came to my defense with my character, and we squashed. And then later that day, Big Rig CEO and Truckers Coach squashed their beef. Coach even gave a Big Rig rent. So, what could have flamed up to be a real big YouTube war turned into nothing. And that was positive to see. That was refreshing, because sometimes YouTube can be a toxic place. Not just YouTube, but social media. And I really think that I think a little persona on the YouTube, sometimes we're more positive than we lead on to be, or we're more negative than we lead on to be. And so with the advent of Zello, I think that kind of like shows a lot of our true colors. I know that if you talk to me on Zello, I curse a lot more. I don't curse in my videos. And in live feeds, you get trolls and channels that hate you, and people that call you names and everything, and people's emotions run a lot higher with live feeds, because you think about the old school YouTube, a comment, you ignored it, or you answered it, and that was it. It wasn't off the fly, and see a person's true colors in a live feed, how they react to you, and unless they're really good, like persona, like a newscaster might be, or an actor. But most of us are just simple men, and it's tough to act sometimes. People have seen me sad, people have seen me mad. I've had my rants. Hell, I've even gone against Coach a couple of years ago. So it's a part of the toxicity of YouTube. It's like, so if you're a new YouTuber, if you're one of these new YouTubers, and number one, you got to have thick skin. I've had people tell me that that a friend of mine killed in a car accident. He was being stupid. I've had, like Lil Dog. He's had people tell him that, they didn't care if his child died. I mean, you see, you hear about people getting sick and say, "Oh, I don't care that they're sick," or you hear about people having disasters in their life, both either financially or physically or mentally, and people just attack and attack and attack, and that's the toxicity that we have to deal with when you're in a public light. Being in a band, I dealt with the same thing, not to the level that I'm at with YouTube, but because YouTube, it's all me, whereas the band, it was the band. So if you had a member of the band that was kind of a crappy representation of you. You kind of had to, you kind of had to have a discussion about that where this is all me. Um, and I try to just be honest and fair with everybody, and that paid off in this whole scenario. I went into Hensley's live feed. I finally subscribed to Hensley, and 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 he gave me a wrench. You know what I mean? And I have wrenches in all these different channels that may or may not necessarily get along. And that's what I try to do, man. There's too much diversity, there's too much animosity to begin with. This job is hard enough. Being a truck driver is hard enough. Dealing with brokers and shippers and receivers and the DOT and insurance companies and lawyers, and I mean all these different things, and then we're going to fight amongst ourselves when we're really kind of the same gang. You know what I mean? It's like we all started with the phone or with the camera, and it just kind of morphs from there. So let's go back to the comments here. Shadow Wolf, what's up? Here for the punch and pie. There you go, TC. Nothing witty. Good evening. I thought Little Dog disappeared. LOL. See, said old fat white guy. See, hey man, just wanted to say you've lost some weight. Just really noticed it. Wow, brother, you're doing good. I've lost over 100 pounds, so I appreciate that. And that was yelling. Trucking Zello leaks, which will admit it was him. He used a thumbnail of like me of 2 years ago, and I even commented. I was like, man, you could have used a better thumbnail. Logic Neo, what's up? Trucker's Coach is a joke. Sorry, my opinion, Steve. Too much negative stuff on his live streams. There was a time when Coach really struggled with being battles with everybody, but was really trying to turn things around. And I think that him really kind of putting himself in the trucking industry more so than he has been in the past, with him working the spot market and him having experiences with, authority and spot market and mega carriers. There's something to learn there. I think it's really eye-opening to see how uninformed a lot of these people are. You got people buying $130,000, $150,000 trucks that absolutely have no clue of what they're doing, what their industry is, and it's just amazing to me. And I think that's part of the negativity that you might be addressing, is that you'll have a person call in that just absolutely doesn't have a clue, and then you could see it in the comments. People are just like, this guy's stupid, this guy's dumb, not on Coach, but the caller, right? And we want to sit there and tell, oh, the new generation of truck drivers no good, they're pathetic. But then when they try to learn, they get being attacked. And why would they get out of their truck and go to the counter and talk with the truck driver if they're only going to get belittled because of what truck they drive, or if they're owners or not, or if they were lease operators? Everybody's just so judgmental. There's a lot of diversity, and so I think that Coach's channel has a lot of that going on the phone calls and everything else, because the industry is struggling right now with a few things. You got a lot of people that have lost their jobs right before Christmas. You've got companies going under. You've got equipment with recalls and warranty work, and the pressure of trying to pay off a $180,000 loan with spot rates dropping, which actually they're up right now, but 1 month in December rates coming up, You know, if you didn't manage your money in the last 11 months, man, it's not going to save you, you know? So, I mean, there's just a lot of, and so when you see YouTube wars going on, it just kind of adds to that. And so if you're stressed out about the company you're leased on with, and you're stressed out whether you're going to make your truck payment, and then you're stressed out about, you know, if you're watching some negative stuff on Facebook or YouTube or whatever, you know, it affects you whether you think it does or not. Now, it could be an escape. You know, maybe you like the WWE aspect that some of us have, and it's an escape from reality, which is kind of nice. You know, that's why it's there. But at the same time, I think that, you know, you always hear of YouTubers kind of getting burned out. You know, I've been kind of burned out. The GoPro vlog I put up, which really wasn't a vlog, yesterday, and we'll talk about the music on that because you guys seem to really react to that. And I'll get to the comments here. I lost my train of thought. Awesome. Just, you know, it affects you whether you think it does or not. You know, whether it be negative, you know, watch positive channels. I watched a Brian Hall Maverick video today, and it uplifted me. You know, it's you know, there's a few people try to do some positive stuff, you know, but the GoPro vlog, that's what I was saying. The GoPro vlog that I put up yesterday or last night, I literally had 2 hours of footage and I almost scrapped it all. I almost put it in the recycle bin on my computer. And then I said, you know what? I want to use this song, Falling Down. And so, you know, the cave clip was actually the day after Thanksgiving, the clip with Kevin and Ollie's truck. And then the other stuff was from this past week. And I just kind of jumbled it up together, you know, some Oklahoma footage, some Dallas footage, some Missouri footage, some Tennessee footage, you know, which is appropriate for the music I was playing because the band was originally out of Tennessee. So, you know, Tashi 69. I threw in a few extra for you, Snow Lord and Southbound J. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it. I need, man, I'm waiting on my new glasses. These kind of suck. Who cares about people who know nothing about you? Right? I can provide a plate if they really need it. Well, there you go, Jeff. Jeff's saying they can provide a plate. Two people put your name in it. I wasn't one. Logic, you know, I don't have anything against you right now. So we're good. Of Drama Queens, says Big Rich. Have you hit the thumbs up button? Spectre says I'm good. That's nothing. Spectre's, you know, another one of these guys that kind of gets along with everybody, right? You know, and Spectre's, you know, here's the thing. Spectre's for this. He helped me when I was getting my plate, you know, because he's out of Missouri, right? And him and Kevin, we talked about C.H. Robinson stuff, and we talked about like different shippers in Missouri. So it's guys, it's really important to network, especially as a business owner, and really network and talk to other people and try to get along with as many people as you can, because put out this discontent and hatred. Because if people, you know, if you're down, man, you never know when you're gonna need some help. So Pale Rider says that stuff was dealt with on my Zello channel, Pale Rider TV. Logic New, hello, sir, says Spectre. We will be expanding at the end of the first quarter 2020 after Matt, says Jeff. So there you go. Cannot trust many people. If you're an honest person, not hot-headed, you will come through in good shape. Yep. What's up, Spectre? Says Daniel. BLR, I'm in a parking lot somewhere in the middle of Springfield, Missouri. So, sing us a gravel voice, Carol. Overtax, I can't do the death vocals anymore. You know, the apnea stuff is literally 4 years old at this point. And when you do that style of vocals, it's kind of like a muscle. And if you don't use it, it kind of goes away. So I couldn't do those style of vocals. Now, the current band that he hasn't even practiced in the last couple of years. It's all clean singing. So, but I have me there over tax. $10. Thank you, Kiersey. I watched a couple of your videos this morning. I think I commented on one, right? And it's nice to see Prime representing, right? I've never worked for Prime. I almost went to work for Prime. Spectre used to work for Prime. Kevin used to work for Prime. My truck used to work for Prime. And I know several people in the office there, and they're they get a lot of bad rep, the company itself. But I really think that if you have the right attitude, you can be successful there. The only thing I never really was attracted to with Prime is being out months at a time, which I don't know if that's still the case or not. But I just I'm just not the kind of guy that's going to make a truck payment. I've got a new goal to move into, right. And when Jeff's ready to grow, man, it'll be exciting because we got a good family here at Like Trucking. And and we all support each other. We all call each other and talk about loads and talk about this broker and talk about that shipper and everything. A lot of us run the same areas, like me and Roscoe, and we run the same area. Southbound Jay runs a lot of the same Texas stuff I do. It's we've all got and then the family stepped up when Steve had his accident. So Big Houston, yes, you are new on YouTube. You're gonna do a video when you get 1 million subscribers, Big Rich? Awesome. Reading comments here. What's up, Big Rich? Everybody's saying hey to Big Rich. Southbound, the brokerage is coming. Awesome. You're highly intoxicated. Anyone else? Not me. Big Rich, Merry Christmas to you too, man. Don't be a stranger. Call me sometime. Call me after the Christmas holiday. There's that noise again. Seriously, does anybody else hear that? Maybe you're hearing my thumb on the phone or something. I don't know. Went and bought a shotgun. You know what? I was wanting to buy a new handgun for Christmas, and of course, repairs and closing on a second house and all this other stuff came up first. So it's been, but there's a few that I wanted to get one for my wife. So if she's watching, you're not getting a handgun for Christmas, but I need to get my gun collection up there. Yeah, I like the idea of like brokerage. To me, that's a great way to be successful as a carrier, is to have a brokerage to cover the loads that you can't cover with your own trucks. And if I had some kind of smarts or some kind of plan to go beyond a one truck company, if I was to ever get my authority, I think that buying trailers and starting a brokerage, that's how a lot of great trucking companies have started, was 10 trailer brokerage. I mean, Transland was like that. So I hear you, Big Rich. I feel blessed that I'm not running wild on the spot market. We've got a few brokers that keep us running. Just got 72 for 1,100 miles. That's the way, Big Rich, that's the way to do it. Every successful person that I know out here in the spot market, almost everyone, myself included, they all had something in common. They all had brokers that had really good freight because they take care of their customers. You guys want to find a broker that knows how to take care of their customer. And the ones that know how to take care of their customer, i.e. not just, give them a cheap rate, those shippers are willing to put more money out, right? And so the broker is willing to put more money out there to have the best drivers to help them service that shipper. See, it's all part of the chain. And the people that I know that are doing really well in the spot market, that's what they do. They connect themselves with 3 or 4 brokers. They're not fighting the low boards every day. And I wanted to go hit a certain amount this year, and I've hit it. I mean, I think yeah, I've hit it, and I still got like 3 or 4 more days of the year left to run. Um, and that was because I had to find a way to be consistent, and I latched on to like 3 brokers and just went to town after that. And I had to up my work ethic a little bit, my workflow a little bit. I was definitely being home a little bit too much, but that's an easy trap to get into when you got low cost and you see the rates just going down and down and down. So if you're the kind of person that sits at home and says, I'm not leaving this house, for less than this and this, guess what? You're gonna sit. So I had to get that out of my system. And lo and behold, I started to make money again. Now, December is kind of low because between the truck repair and you know, home business stuff, and then holiday, it's going to be a low month, but we kind of prepared for it. So certain channels are just into attacking each other. That's it. As a newcomer, YouTube is stupid and petty. I enjoy Coach's content, but he does occasionally give out conflicting information. But the stoners calling in are pure gold. TC, that's the thing though. So when you're trying to learn something on YouTube, whether it be trucking or fixing a toilet, or fixing a part of a car or something like that, you want to try to get different angles, right? Because there's a million ways to be in this business, right? So, I know people that are pretty neutral, and they'll listen to stuff that coach says, they'll listen to stuff that Jeffrey Like says, they'll listen to stuff that Tim Gurley says, and et cetera, right? And then what works for me may not work for you. So what works for so and so may not work for the other person. Some people like long haul, some people like short haul, some people are working for a mega carrier, some people are on a 1 truck operation. And so there's 100 different ways to do this business. And so you can't look at one person to be the be all end all expert, right? Because if you don't get more than one opinion, like if you need a roof repaired or if you need a car repair, you don't take it to just one. You want multiple opinions. You want, on something big, so that's so, the conflicting stuff, you just have to kind of sort that, because I think all of us have put out conflicting stuff. I know I have, because you learn as you go. I mean, there's a way that I thought this way, and then now there's a different way I think. It's all part of learning. It's all part of growing. So it's a lot like the military. We're all headstrong with some arrogance, but we need to always watch your six, be honest and kind to all, but not worship one person. I'm doing good, Big Rich. Watching likes seeing people do good. Your luck from this morning was pretty good. Pretty awesome. Thank you, Daniel. Pamela B, what's up? And well, I'm going to finish reading these comments and we'll talk about the song that I used in my current video or my latest video. Well, I am home. I'm in my personal vehicle, Team Time. And this is the real Pamela B. Was there a fake one going around? Willie can do death vocals. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes if you're a cigarette smoker, I don't know if Willie smokes cigarettes. I don't watch his channel very often, but I do know that cigarette smoking will definitely give you that raspy voice, right? You're thinking about going to like trucking next year? Well, truck for life. That would be awesome. The more the merrier. I do have Verizon. Is it legal to carry a gun in the truck? Um, you're gonna want your CCW, and then you gotta pay attention to the states. But there's no DOT regulation saying you cannot have a gun in your truck. I know many drivers that carry, and you just got to watch states that you go in. So if you go in Illinois, you got to break it down in 3 steps, I think. Um, and you definitely want your conceal and carry. Here in Missouri, we don't have to have a permit to conceal now. And but if you want to cross state lines with that, then you better play by the rules. And so, but no, there's no law that says you can't have a gun in the truck. Now you might have a shipper. Like I delivered a load of bullet casings to a place, and they took my laptop. They made sure that I didn't have any weapons. They actually got in the truck and searched through bags and everything. So if you had a gun, it was no big deal. You just put it in the locker and grab it on the way out. That's all. So store, I can point you towards some of the solid pistols that are cost effective. I bought 3 of the Smith and Wesson. Yeah, Big Rich, I'd like that. If you have guys who don't mind the running east, I could probably point them towards some big money coming out of my area in northern Minnesota. Oh, did you move there, Big Rich? Cool. Merry Christmas, Truck and Review channel. Okay, what I miss? Eating dinner here in Indy with Brian. Well, tell Brian I said hi. Yeah, it's not an excuse, Thomas. Jeff's on the right track building a network. Yep, he is. Oh, I can't get to the end of these comments. Everybody's talking to each other. If you have a CC, then they know you have guns, not interested, right? You had to get away from the South. Yeah, I hear you. All right, so speaking of South, let's talk about the music that I use. So I got a lot of positive responses to that music. So here's the story. You guys want a story? Story time. So the name of the band that I used was Blackbone. Okay. Now, if you feel that the singer's voice sounds familiar and you're a fan of Saliva, well, then you would be right. The singer and the guitar player of Saliva, this was their first band. And a little story is I was in a band called, it was a death metal band called Communion. It was a rock climbing gym. It was basically a warehouse with rock climbing walls, right? And they decided it'd be cool to have a show. So they set up this crappy PA, and it wasn't even a stage, you're on the floor, really. And so one of the bandmates says, "Hey, we got an opening gig for a signed band called Blackbone." I'm like, and I don't know if they were signed. It was like an indie label kind of thing, right? And at that time, this was like the mid 90s, right? About 96, 97, 90, 95, somewhere around there. And at that time, people started jumping up and down playing metal, like jumping up and down like bunny rabbits, right? And it used to just, I don't know, it used to just irk me. I was a much angrier person back then. Here we are, this brutal death metal band, and we got to act tough. And you don't jump up and down for our crap. You do mosh pits, you slam dance. That's what you do, right? And so any band that kind of catered to that, which was starting to happen with like Limp Bizkit and and Kid Rock and all that kind of stuff, right? And we just despised it, right? And so Black Bone comes in, we don't know anything about this band, and we're doing this game, we're opening up for them, and they came in complete gentlemen, right? They even had to kind of sneak away to help the sound guy when the sound guy wasn't looking. They kind of tweaked some knobs on some of the opening bands because these guys obviously knew their stuff. And if you read the bio, they've opened up for all these big players like Kiss and Tesla and Def Leppard and all these like famous bands, and were doing really well for themselves in their area. And they're out of Memphis, Tennessee. And our particular show was the last night of this long tour that they had been on. And so all the girlfriends and wives drove up from Memphis to see this show. And so you can imagine this band that's opened up for all these big major players coming into this crappy warehouse with the $800 PA system at a rock climbing gym, right? Most bands with an attitude would have turned around and walked the hell out, right? But not these guys. Now, the other was tuxedo style suit. He was dressed to the nines. And we kind of talked to him about that. We're like, and again, Mommy, no one played a note yet. And he's like, yeah, man, what we do is we go to all the thrift stores and we buy the snazziest clothes at the thrift stores all across the country. And then boom, you've got yourself a killer wardrobe. You're dressed like $1,000,000 and it costs you 20, Very nice people, right? And they saw us making fun of, we made the comment about jumping up and down, right? And they saw us kind of making fun of that. And so we played our set. Everybody was polite, cordial. Yeah, yay, crowd, you're angry. Yay, the 12 people that were there. That was the other thing. It was like a Thursday night. There were like 12 people there. And like I said, it's a miracle that these guys didn't just look around, flip us off, and leave, right? And they got up on the stage and they just boom. It was like they were opening for Kiss, man. They just like went into it full energy. And guess what they did? They jumped up and down. They were that part of that jump metal movement, right? And but they tore into it. And so we were so impressed with their live set that we never made fun of jumping up and down bands again. And those guys were a class act. It was actually a really fun gig. And then so a couple of years later when Saliva formed, and I'm like, that looks and acts like that singer from Blackbone. So I looked up their bio, and sure enough, him and the guitar player had started Saliva, and then they hit it big, finally. But I have that CD, Blackbone. It's called Homegrown. It's kind of a weird. They're kind of like a Christian slash hippie smoke pot, but we're Jesus people too. It's kind of interesting. It's an interesting album, and normally it's not my cup of tea, but these guys made an impression on me that I think positive. So it's like you kind of look past the art a little bit towards the person, and I enjoy most of the CD, and that song, Falling Down, happened to be in my head here lately, and I thought, you know what, I need to use that song, so that's fine. You're in Eagan, Minnesota today. So anyways, that's the story. So we've touched on a few things. If anybody's got any questions, feel free to hit me up. Um, have at it. We can talk about anything you want. Or are we buffering so much that nothing's going on? Or did someone go live that's way more popular than me? That or we're buffering pretty bad. Are we still buffering pretty bad? Not buffering? Do I use Easy Pass? Yes. I think I'm going to look into getting the Elite Pass. Get everything kind of condensed down to one, but the reason why I don't is because I started, ever since Schneider, I've had my K tag. And then after going through a couple of the unmanned toll booths in Illinois, I had to get online and pay a toll, and that was a pain in the butt. I overpaid, so I went ahead and got Easy Pass through Riverlink. And so I only have like the best pass, all your tolls are coming from one bill, whereas I have two bills. And sometimes that could be a bear to keep up, but I very rarely run an Easy Pass and Oklahoma and Kansas. So, trying to see the hat logo right there. My oldest daughter got it for me. So it's a dragon with whatever that says. Probably says you suck or something. Oh. Les is in the hospital? No. I talked to him just yesterday. Truck and Review channel. What is the best way to get YouTube videos out so people will see them? Big Houston, I'm going to give you an honest opinion of your channel, okay? I try to help YouTubers that are coming up, and I'm nothing. I've only got 3,200. That's nothing compared to some of the big guys. But I get this impression on your YouTube channels that you're not a happy person, that trucking is kind of miserable for you. And so the way to get your videos out there is to either have something instructional, something viral, or something, extremely negative, or something extremely positive. We all, and I'm guilty of this too, right? That's why, people have nicknamed me Borelord, right? But talk about how. A lot of people watch YouTube to learn how. So if you sit there and as drivers, we sit there and say, well, yeah, yesterday I picked up at 9 a.m. at this shipper in Chicago, and man, I was really worried about, parking, but then I ended up shutting down in Effingham, Illinois, and I paid for park. People don't want to hear that. People want to hear, yeah, because the shipper was doing this, and I was in Chicago, dealing with this interstate at this time. I was worried about parking, but when I got to the Petro in Effingham, I was able to pay $15, got my free. It's like they want to know the hows, like whys, the hows and whys instead of the what and wheres, and it's important to do this. Well, tell us why it's important to do that. And then use the keywords, key titles, act like you want to be in front of the camera, act like you're, that you want to be there. Talk about something controversial, or talk about something that's on everybody's mind, or maybe inform, like it's a mentality, Big Houston. Like when you found that crack in your trailer, I said, it'd be a really good moment of YouTube. And you're like, wow, that's a great idea. So you have to kind of change your mindset a little bit. And, and I see this all the time. I've done it myself. People are like, well, I just did this and this and this. I'm like, well, did you have your camera on? Oh man, I didn't even think about that. And that's the thing. There are things that I've missed opportunities I missed simply because I didn't have my camera on me or I didn't have my camera on. So, oh no, truck review. The trucker show. What worked one day, one way may work another way another day. Right. And you can put out the same exact content as somebody else, but they get more hits. I do know that before you're able to monetize, that your videos won't get pushed as much because YouTube pushes the channels that can monetize. That's why my music videos don't do too well, because while I don't get copyright strikes, I get copyright claims. So the owner of the music says, all right, this is cool, but we're monetizing it. We're going to make money off that, which is fine because I want to give the artist or the people that support the artist the money. And you know, there's like 3 channels that I watch of people that have cameras on their hats, um, doing trucking stuff, and they all have way different sub counts, you know, and you know, you just have to know what your audience wants. So the best thing to do is there are YouTube channels out there that will help you and teach you how to increase your audience and tricks and methods. Shadow Wolf 20, I think over 20 hats. The only hat I don't own yet is a like trucking hat. Hint, hint. Dan Adami, your channel needs a lot of work too. You're getting better. Guess it, guys, the audio on these GoPros suck. I'm guilty of it as too. And I think that sometimes less is more. To do a 25-minute long video of almost nothing, which I've been guilty of that as well. You know, maybe make a 7 or 8 minute video, not put so much detail. Sometimes we don't need to hear all the details, because if you want to attract other truck drivers to your channel, give them something that they may not get from somebody else. You know, I built my channel off of Landstar because no one else at that time was putting out Landstar videos, or if there were, it was only a couple, and they weren't being consistent with it. And so people were interested in what it was like to be an owner operator with Landstar. And instead of like saying, oh, I went from point A to point B and I called this agent, took me all day to blah, 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 I was like, okay, here's the strategy. Here's what I was thinking. Here's what I dealt with. And here's how you can deal with this if you know, that kind of thing. And so you just have to know your audience. And Daniel, your videos are getting better, but sometimes, Daniel, the reason why your channel's not growing is because you're not consistent. You don't put out enough content. And all the content experts will tell you that. You've got to put out something 2 or 3 times a week to really grow, or at least once a week. And show some consistency, because if you do a video and then 3 months from now you do another video, and then 3 months from now you do another video, you kind of get lost in the shuffle of notifications. But if your name is already all in the if your name is all in the notifications every day, then you know that puts you in the public light. So late to the party, Don. One of the first things I think of when I break down or have issues is that I need to get this on video, right? I mean, it's important to be yourself, Big Houston, but at the same time, you know, that's the other thing I'm going to suggest to you new YouTubers, right? Watch your videos, okay? Watch your own videos and tell me tell yourself, is this what I really want to watch? Right? And I, I'm pretty nonchalant. I'm pretty, you know, people can say whatever they want about me. However, like I said, stated in the beginning of the video, it does affect me a little bit when people say, well, I don't like your videos, because I put a little bit of effort into them. And so when I think of the things that I just told you guys, too much detail can be too much detail. And I found myself talking too much. I even named the video, I talk too much. And so I'm trying to do quicker edits. I'm trying to not talk as much. I'm trying not to give as many details as I usually do. And last night when I was going through the footage, I was about ready to scrap it all. I thought, no, and even at the end when I'm talking, I seem kind of down, right? So I'm not one to talk when I say you got to seem happy. I don't say you got to seem happy, but you want to give the audience a reason to watch you. Just being a truck driver is not a good enough reason anymore. 10 years ago, yeah, it was. And like GNC, he's showing dropping and hooking, he's showing cooking, he has strategies, he does the live feed once a week, though, that's the other thing. Live feeds can be tricky if you only got like 5 or 6 people in there, and I know that there's some YouTubers out there that are doing these 10-hour live feeds with only 100 some odd subscribers, and I don't think that's a good idea, because it really brings your channel down to have all this video content time, but yet people are only like coming in 5 or 10 minutes, or a small percentage. So if you're doing an 8-hour live feed and people are only watching for an hour, they're only watching 1/8 of your video, which makes your analytics look bad, which means YouTube's not going to push your content. And so it's a whole big play. It sounds more complicated than it is, but literally make the video that you want to watch. That's the first step. And so my vlogs have gotten better, I feel. And I started doing more driving footage, like the tree trimming in Alabama. That was kind of a fun video to edit. And there's a lot of stuff that I wish I would have had a camera recording. It would have been a much better video. And so you just have to kind of analyze your own channel. You have to be honest with yourself. What do you want to see? Can you watch 25 minutes of you talking about going from point A to point B? That's the important part. And when I find myself being sick of myself, that's when the music videos come out. Like, oh, screw it, I've talked too much, I'll put music to it. Right. Big Houston, one of the things, says GNC, I've been doing is going through other trucker YouTube channels and looking through their videos and looking and see what are getting views. Right. Imitate the big guys. Imitate them. I mean, if you look at, if you go back to the time before live feeds, if you look at Ike's Rag Chews, where he combined music and talking about loads, Will did the same thing. Lil Guy did the same thing. I kind of emanated that because I like that style, and that's what I still do to this day, even though they don't do that stuff anymore. And while it works, that's not everybody's cup of tea. Some people just watch YouTube for information. They just watch YouTube for business info or trucking info, and so my vlogs don't do that. I mean, sometimes they do, they'll hit on something, but it's not, it's not like I'm an expert. And then some people just want live feeds and the interaction, like James Best. And then some people want a mixture, and that's kind of what I do. I try to give a mixture. I do live feeds, I do music vlogs, I do regular vlogs. I have 5 or 8 minute long snippets of nuggets, or, my morning coffee thoughts they're fun to do, and people say that they love them, but the numbers really don't reflect that unless I have something negative in the title. Yeah, instead of Daniel says, yeah, you're right. And I need to do more videos and be more consistent with making them. Right. And so instead of doing a 25-minute long video, why not do 5 minute long videos? You know what I mean? You don't have to put your whole week, and this is for anybody, not just Daniel. You don't have to put your whole week into a vlog. You don't have to. You don't even have to put a whole trip. You know, look at the approach Provost uses. He'll do one trip from Jersey to California, and that'll be like 5 vlogs, right? And so, and that's how you get consistency. And then also, you don't have to spend 3 hours editing and 4 hours trying to upload it. Where if it's just 5 and 10 minute or even 8 minute vlogs, that's the way to go. Take one of your vlogs and turn it into 5, you know, and that'll give you the consistency you need, right? And you can upload them all at once and just release them like every other day, you know, just make them public. Team Tiny, that's the problem today's society. Everybody thinks they need to be heard, but usually not too much. I hear you. I need 5 boy lot lizards to do a dancing video with Lady Marmalade to get 1 million views. that's weird. You got lizard suits? Oh, you're being serious? TRC? I need a GoPro so I can get more driving and other things. If you can get a good phone mount, you can do driving. You know, and that's the thing. So in my video last night, I had a mirror back in the caves, which I hadn't done that with the caves before. And my wife thought that was pretty cool. Different angles too, I've got 2 different GoPro mounts on the outside of my truck. I need to have another one on the dash to face me. The one that I did towards the end of the video last night, that was literally sitting on the dash, and I was like pretending to drive. I was really driving, but after breaks, grabbed the camera, put it back, and all was well. I just edited that out. So people like mass. Little Viking Coach is absolutely right. You're using a max mount? There you go. Big question. What kind of videos you like to see from me? Basically, what kind of a storyline might help me get focused? Shadow Wolf, that's kind of a difficult to answer because I like you as a person, so I would watch anything that you put out there. And you've done a mixture. I think you've done a couple of vlog stuff, but it's been a while since you've done that. I think that I definitely liked your coffee story, your coffee review. But I also think that you can really capitalize on the whole Prime thing because Prime is a popular subject on YouTube. Ask Pale Rider. Pale Rider did a video where he was just showing a Prime truck and back, and he wasn't making fun of him. Prime driver did a really good job, and that video is like one of his top viewed videos simply because of the name Prime. People are curious about Prime is all over YouTube, so I think that you can utilize that, and you can do it in a way that you don't talk about customers. If Prime's got like something about that, you know, I think Truck with Kiersey's off to a good start with what she's doing. Just like Schneider, when I first went to Schneider, I was naming the videos Pumpkin Life and I wasn't getting any views. So I started putting Schneider in the title. Boom. My views went through the roof because people were searching the YouTube for Schneider. Yeah, Pale Rider makes an excellent point. Go download YouTube Studio app for your phone, and everything's like really easy to look at. And look at your videos that are the most popular. Which ones have the biggest counts? And then That's what your audience wants to see. So, but I think that they just genuinely like you. So if you did a little bit of everything, it wouldn't be a bad thing. We all know that Rock TV Trucking was the original coffee reviewer. Yeah, but it's not a contest, Daniel. You know, there are people that claim that they were the first one to do the morning coffee, and and I remember meeting Pale Rider 6 years ago. He was doing morning coffee talk with another driver, and I was his first of a series that really died kind of quickly. Um, but truck drivers like drinking coffee in the morning, so anybody wants to jump on that, that's fine. But and I didn't. The morning coffee thoughts was not my idea, really. It was not an original idea. There was Russ Maynard can't drive 55. He was on Facebook talking about using that morning cup of coffee to really kind of collect your thoughts and think about what's going on, and he called it talking to God. And I thought that was just a really good time to meditate. CJ the mental motivator talks about that first cup of coffee, man. Just don't have any social media on, don't have anything on, just kind of like drink that coffee in silence. Sorry for the noise, I forgot to mute this phone. Right. And Daniel, I think I made some videos talking about how Pale Rider wasn't doing coffee reviews anymore. And so there's kind of we play off each other, man. We kind of build off each other. We make fun of each other, and that's we all razz each other. And I think if you type in Pale Rider Snowlord, you're going to see a bunch of videos where I said Pale Rider's failing at coffee reviews and all that kind of stuff. And it was all in good fun. It wasn't designed to ruffle any feathers. It was really me joking about how Pale Rider wasn't doing coffee reviews anymore. So I ended up taking the slack. Your video with Trucker Jukebox had got the most views. It's 351. Whenever you meet up with a bigger YouTuber, it's always great to have the camera on and at least talk about it. That Trucker's Table did, where he put Pale Rider in the title, and while him and Pale Rider were live the night before on Pale Rider's channel, we were watching Trucker's Table's video thinking that we were going to see a meetup, and there was never a meetup. All we did was see the back of Pale Rider's truck. And so whenever you meet a YouTuber, like, usually if you're a YouTuber and we meet up, we're going live. Blackbeard went live a couple of times when we met up. And I missed an opportunity the other day. Pale Rider and I were at the Joplin Pet Show. Literally, and I was getting fuel, and I saw him in the mirror, not realizing he was leaving. I thought he was going into the parking lot because mirrors opposite, whatever. And I got on the CB, and then we called each other, and I said, "Hey, man, where are you going?" He's like, "Oh, I'm leaving." I'm like, "Oh, man," because I would have had enough time to go around and did a quick, video with him. So, and Pale Rider's giving me grief because I was going to take my GoPro into the truck last year, and he kind of fixed me on that. That's the other thing, angles. Evercoil brings up a good point. Have different angles. That's what I've been experimenting with. So, anyways, we're over an hour. If you guys don't have any more questions, this has been a good live feed, I think. You guys might disagree. I'm sure I got 2 or 3 thumbs down. The important part is if you want to enter this YouTube universe, you gotta be ready to play. And you got to have thick skin. You got to be prepared that people are going to berate you. Whether you could be a guy rescuing puppies, and you're going to get thumbs down, you're going to get hate and discontent, right? And It doesn't matter. Do it for yourself and do it for the people that do appreciate it, right? And if you have, you know, having a lot of haters can make your channel popular too. I mean, just ask Howard Stern, right? The but with that comes a lot more of the toxicity that I see in social media. So if you're going to walk that line, you better be prepared and better be prepared to fight. And you know, we're all part of the same gang, you know, we're all doing the same thing. We're all these guys and gals that are just talking in front of a phone for an hour for what? For why are we doing this, right? And you know, the more we can help each other and build each other up instead of tear each other down, I think that that would be a lot better than some of the stuff that we see. And is it entertaining? Maybe not. Just depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for YouTube for entertainment, the world's your oyster. But if you're looking for YouTube for positive content, it's out here. Not saying I'm not, you know, I'm not the most positive person. It may seem like that at times, but I go through emotions. I go through hardships. I have a bad day here and there. You know, if you've heard me on Zello, I've been that way, you know. But at the same time, I try not to belittle anybody, because I know that we're all out here struggling. You know, if a guy is struggling to get back into a spot, you know, I'll get out and help him out, not just grab my camera and laugh at him, which a lot of people would do that. So, and that video would probably get a lot more views than me helping the guy. So, but that's the nature of the beast. The beast is YouTube. The beast is Facebook. And all these people complaining on Facebook about political posts, you haven't cleaned your filter good enough. I barely see any political posts on my Facebook feed. So Facebook is still enjoyable to me. Same thing with Instagram. Now Twitter's hard to filter out all that. So I'm not on Twitter as much as I should be, even though I push it on my channel. But anyways, thanks for the $10, Kiersey. Let's see, Big Houston. If I go to the Chuck Show, I'll be making videos, right? And here's the other weird part about YouTube. You never know what the rhyme or reason is, because my 2017 G-Bats videos, thousands of views. 2018, 400 views. It's like, you know, you never know. You never know what's going to be pushed and what's not. To everyone, I am working on another coffee review, but it's going to be hard. Top the last one. I spent a lot of time on one already. Be looking for it. Awesome, Shadow Wolf. Awesome. Explosions, fire, and bikini girls get views. I agree. Jonathan Houston, do more of that. Do more explosions, fire, and girls in bikinis. Would I consider blocking you on Facebook? Yeah, I'll look into it, because you know it wasn't personal. It's because you got hacked, or at least I thought you got hacked. I had to block a guy that I've been friends with 10 years the other day. There you go, Daniel. I'm glad. Chuck is a good dude, man. Don't get a big head on subscriber numbers, right? I hid my subscriber numbers. You can do that. Um, anyways, guys, Merry Christmas to everybody. I hope you're enjoying the holidays, and if you're not, if you're working, I'm hoping you're making a lot of money. And somewhere deep down inside, look in your heart and figure out what you want to do. If you're a new YouTuber that's coming up, watch your own videos to see if you excite yourself and what can you improve on, you know, if that's what you want. But I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Appreciate that. I appreciate everybody, every single person. I'm very grateful. There'll probably be a couple more live feeds before the year's over with. And maybe if I get back in the truck, which I should, I want to be out the 26th. I want to take advantage of the rates before mid-January hits. Maybe I'll turn on that GoPro. So at any rate, thanks for watching. And for everybody who supported me and helped me out and helped me keep my nose out of trouble, I appreciate it. So with that being said, thank you and good night.